If you're in here, hold tight, guys. I got to get the Rokfin launched and the Rumble, and we will be live in a second. I am so discombobulated today. Not my normal time. Let's see. I don't want that one playing back. Come on. Go live. Let's go, Rokfin. Rokfin doesn't want to go. Come on. Go live. Did it go? Did it go? Did it go? Come on, Rokfin. Hi, guys. I don't see my chat. Is my chat not working? Why don't you guys say something in the chat so I know the chat's working? It doesn't look like Rokfin's gone. What the hell? I'm having a hell of a time this morning. Well, I will work on Rokfin. Hold tight, guys. I haven't even brought my stream deck in. Pink waving hand. Thank you. It's Cold Fusion. So it is. Why is Rokfin not going live? See if I update it and it realizes that it's been launched. Come on. Well, it's always one or the other, right? If it's not Rokfin, it's Rumble. And Oz, if you're out there, will you go see if you can kick my Rokfin? I don't know what its problem is. I got a good show lined up for you guys if we can ever get this show. Oh, it says I'm live. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Apparently we're there. Just doing its own thing. Oh, of course. Now I got a feedback loop. And I'll bet you that it is the Rokfin. If I can figure out how to shut it off, be quiet. You know what? I'm just going to close it out. You guys know it's live. Welcome. I got a few over on the Rokfin. People are starting to come in on the YouTube, and I think the Rumble has been launched. Welcome, Rumble Land. We've actually had viewers on Rumble, and it's been amazing. Hi, Snow Leopard. Good afternoon. Welcome to the trailer park. Yeah, sorry, I had some running to do this morning. If I want to be out on the ground with some of our brothers and sisters, I got to get me a damn passport. Now, as a poor girl from a trailer park who's only ever made minimum wage in my life, I never thought I would need a passport. And so it's kind of a mile marker today to go in and deal with that. But wouldn't you know it, of course, the U.S. Post Office, I get there, I scheduled it there so I wouldn't have to go do separate passport pictures and all that crap. But no, their system was broke down. So I still had to go out and go to Walgreens and get passport pictures. And oh, that's real fun, right? You're not allowed to smile. You have to have the white background. Like it was the worst picture ever, but it's done. So I don't know. Hopefully, maybe one of these days I'll be able to get out there on the ground with so many of our brothers and sisters that do such amazing reporting, like the Convo Couch. You know, I was trying to get to Cuba with everybody, but you got to have 6 months of validity. Come on, share. Did my internet just go down? What is going on here? Apparently, I have no internet. I can't even see my screen. What is going on? Cancel. Let's try again. Share the screen. God damn it. Share it. Share it. Share it. There we go. Okay. Now I got an actual deck. So I've been a little discombobulated today, guys. Sorry. And we're running super late. So, but I do have a show for you. I did get up this morning and go through the news. And of course, everybody's talking about Davos. So we will be talking about it too. DC, it's all good. I was glad to have a breakdown between AM Wake Up and TPP so I could walk my dogs without missing anything. Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe going later would be a better thing. I always chose to go right after them just because I don't ever want to like go over their time. So see if it works for Pasta. Pasta and I've got a big show lined up for To Hell and Back on Thursday. I am super excited. We have the Jamie Deluxe coming in to talk to us. And if those who have followed me for years know how much I love Jamie Deluxe. I've been bringing his videos on Gates and Pedowood, and you know, Jamie does some really amazing research. Yeah, we're good. Thanks, Oz. Yeah, I think we're good now. I don't know. Rokfin was just being crazy. So, anyways, Jamie is much like me. He got sucked into the the opiate wars that have been raised on us, and I can't wait to hear his story because whether Jamie knows it or not, he was a huge influence on me to do this because, you know, Jamie, his intro is, I smoke and I say fuck a lot, right? Well, we didn't see this on YouTube 2, 3, 5 years ago, right? And so watching him do it, I could do it too. And so whether he knows it or not, him and so many others have been an inspiration to me, encourage me to get out there and to live my truth and to tell it the way I see it. And I can't wait to thank him for that. And I really just enjoy Jamie Deluxe. So if you're not following Jamie Deluxe, try to find his channel. He is definitely on Rokfin, but YouTube has pulled him off. I don't even know how many times. I mean, every time they take down his channel, he'd build a new channel. I'd tell everybody where to find him. And yeah, that's, we know how it goes on YouTube. Oh, I need to turn my fan on. It's a little warm today. So how is everybody today? I hope good. I'm glad you got to walk the dogs, DC. I'm jealous. I haven't been out to walk in a couple of days, at least 3 or 4 days. You guys know I pulled like 55 miles last month and I loved it. I felt so good, and being able to get out and walk every day, it changes your life. It really does. It's just something as simple as walking. But I've been so busy, and winter, I live in the Pacific Northwest, and I'll tell you, when I was pissing down, pouring and windy, really the wind's what gets me. Promise no naked Klaus pictures. Yes, I promise no leopard. I already did that to you guys. Oz actually did that to you, I want to say last year. So don't look at me, man. I didn't do it. So yeah, dumpster fire. That was last week's card. I just didn't even get today's card up yet. It was kind of an afterthought. So fair use, everything I commentate on, I'm just bringing clips to give you my opinion and how I see it. And please go out there and do your own research. Don't ever, ever form your opinion based on what you hear from one person. Go find the source. Find the source and back it up, because that's what we do, right? And I know I don't have to tell you guys that. You guys are some of the best research people on the damn planet. Buy me a coffee. Apparently my buy me a coffee finally got approved from what I can see. So, hey, that's a quick way to help me out. If you want to support me, you can go over to buymeacoffee.com/trailerpark. And yeah, you can buy me 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 coffees, whatever you want to do. I appreciate it. And it's just a little something to warm me up during the day. And I just want to talk to you guys about a new GoFundMe that I have launched. So I am planning on getting back to DC in April 11th. We're planning a free Assange event outside of the Department of Justice. There's a lot of anniversaries that are coming up. The anniversary of how long he's been in Belmarsh, the anniversary of how long he's been hiding from U.S. government. There's just so many reasons that we need to be in DC. This will be my 3rd trip in for Julian Assange, and I'm not going to stop till he is home with those sweet little boys and Stella, and not being persecuted for telling the truth. Journalism is not a crime. And yeah, so you guys can help me out. Hit my GoFundMe. The GoFundMe link is down below in my link tree, which I updated our link tree yesterday for the first time in like a year. So all of mine and Oz's links are in there, and there's some great links to all of the different shows that we do. Of course, Roar Media, we do so many. People are like, well, what show are you on? I'm like, Trailer Park Pundit, To Hell and Back, Beauty on the Boomer. I just have to start rambling off because I am all of those. Yes, Oz LaFave. Chanda is my BFF. You are my BFF too, dear. I hope you're feeling well today. Doing better. He showed up. He showed up on Saturday, even though he hadn't been feeling well. Hey, Uncle Warren, welcome. So I'm proud of you, Oz. He needs you guys as much as we need him, right? I feel that. Oh, thanks so much, Snore Leopard, for the this might get to your cup, might get you a cup. Yeah, I know, right? Nowadays, I don't know. You know what? I saw something the other day. It was about how Starbucks is the biggest bank in the world, and I was like, what? Starbucks isn't a bank? What the fuck? And then they start breaking it down how Starbucks, basically with those stupid prepaid coffee cards that everybody buys each other, right? Because I've had quite a few given to me over the years. Oh, here's a $20 Starbucks card for Christmas, whatever. Well, that money just sits there. A lot of them never even get cashed in. They never get cashed out. There'll be $7 left on a card, $2 left on a card. That's all money that just goes to fucking Starbucks. And of course, that's all interest-free money for them. So basically, they just take out a big loan to cover their fucking cards. And yeah, stop buying fucking gift cards. That's my message. It's just something I thought of with the whole buy me a coffee thing. I have a girlfriend who always is buying me coffee cards, and I'm just like, stop doing that. Let's do this day in history. There's a lot of history that happened today. So Happy anniversary. 1991, the Gulf War begins in Iraq. So Operation Desert Storm, launched in response to Iraq's invasion of Kuwait, results in, about, I like how they say, about 100,000 civilian deaths. Let's see. In 1946, the UN Security Council holds its first session. Oh, lucky us. Who remembers those days? And 1998, President Clinton becomes the first sitting U.S. president to testify as a defendant in a criminal case or civil suit. Congrats to Bill, right? He's not the last for sure. We're going to talk about that more, but look at these birthdays for today. Jim Carrey, 1962. Muhammad Ali, 1942. I love this one. Eartha Kitt, 1927. If you don't know who Eartha Kitt was, she was the original Batgirl, or was a Batwoman from the original Batman. And she was an amazing activist. Go read up on her if you don't know who she is. Of course, 1899, Al Capone was born, and who could leave this one out? 1706, Benjamin Franklin, American politician, scientist, publicist, and president of Pennsylvania. I didn't know Pennsylvania had presidents, but boy, he sure has so much more history than that, right? We're actually hearing stuff now about all these bodies they found in the basement of his apartment in Boston. Like, was Benjamin Franklin a fucking serial killer? Just my conspiracy, just my thought. I don't know, but she was Catwoman. Thank you, Fred. Yes. Eartha Kitt. Yeah. The FBI followed that poor woman around her whole life, from the 60s till she died. And yeah, what an amazing activist she ended up to be, right? But the whole Benjamin Franklin, did you guys see? I don't think I brought the clip of Biden out there talking about, from time to time, the tree of liberty needs stoked with the blood of patriots, right? Benjamin Franklin said that, right? Was it Benjamin Franklin? Maybe it was Thomas Jefferson. But anyways, he's all going off about, oh, hell no, you don't need an AR-15 to take on the government. No, you need jets. This guy, oh my God. So who here thinks that this whole classified document is going to lead to Biden saying bye-bye? I do. I really think that this will be what they will use as the catalyst to get rid of him, right? They got to put him out to pasture. They can't let him go another 2 more years. We all knew that, right? We've been calling that. Oz has been calling that since day one. And they're going to need a reason to say Trump can't run either. So they'll say to Biden, sorry, Biden, if you go, and then we'll say, well, look, Biden can't run again because he had these and you can't either. I just see it as a good way to knock Trump out and to get Biden out of the way too. And then what? We get 10 fucking years of Harris. Oh, because that's what all of us want, right? We live in a cartoon. Okay, let's recap yesterday. Yesterday was a holiday, so let's make sure we cover all the virtue signaling that happened yesterday. And of course, the FBI, just because we killed MLK doesn't mean that we can't miss him too, huh? And then, of course, yesterday's big hoopla was about the unveiling of a new sculpture outside the Boston Common, which is I don't know. I mean, I know what it's supposed to represent. It's supposed to represent this embrace right here, right? But that's not what it looks like. We all know what it looks like from here. We all know what it looks like from here. So that's all I'm going to say. And that's why I say headlines I don't care to cover, because I'm sure enough of our friends and family covered that yesterday. And it was just disgusting watching all of these shit libs, go out there wading knee deep in virtue signaling when they're not doing that any other day of the year. Nick did an amazing job yesterday over on Jimmy Dore calling this shit out. Revolutionary Black Network. Please go follow them if you're not. And go check out that Jimmy Dore. It should drop sometime today. Jimmy's back, which is nice. I'm not going to make fun of Aaron Mate. He did what he could do, and I did watch some of it, but I'm glad to have Jimmy back. What's going on, Oz? Would you mind? Suckers. Oh, yeah. No problem, Oz. You got it. We'll get there. We will get there. So like I said, I had some running around this morning to do. I had early morning appointments. So some of the deck was Was wrote by Oz. Thanks, Oz. But I think I can handle it. Oh, okay. I do have one more of yesterday's virtue signaling I had to bring you. I have to bring you Biden and his total gaffes all day yesterday. Every time that guy opens his mouth, we just know why he's got to go, right? Why he shouldn't have ever been there in the first place. But here's another gaff memology from Memology 101.
Well, look, my wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, you sing happy birthday. You ready?
No, 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 no.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday to you. Well, look, my wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, you sing happy birthday. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday to you. Well, happy birthday, dear Alan.
What in fuck's name are you doing?
He gaffes constantly, right? And yes, thank you for that. Ugh, I don't know why that's glitching out so bad. Kofi, right? I think any public speaker, I mean, we all do it. I do it. Obviously, I just did it. Apparently, I didn't say Blackout Network, Revolutionary Blackout Network. Of course, I know what it is, but when you're, but when you're his age and your brain slipping like that, like why do they even put him out there? They couldn't have sent Harris to do this shit. Like sometimes I wonder why. And then we all know the conspiracies about the three Bidens, right? We all know there was extra Hillary Clintons. They can't find one more together to put out there. I'm confused. I mean, the casting actors, they could cast somebody better to play one of the Bidens, is the way I feel about it. So why do they keep letting this shit happen? Because they want an excuse to get rid of him. And I think that we know that. Visibly confused, right? God, and you know what? He's never embarrassed by it at all. That's the thing, too. That's the worst of it. He's just like, yeah, I'm me. I do what the hell I want. So this is another memology. Why do I have two memologies? But anyways, let's look at this one. I want to say what this is about. Oh, the Democrats making stolen classified documents about January 6th. Now, we all know January 6th is the cause of everything, right? Coretta, right? What did he say? He didn't even say Coretta. We all know that January 6th will live on forever in infamy as the go-to argument for anything and everything that the shitlibs want to fight with you about. So let's check this memology out.
Now we learned that President Biden had roughly 20 classified documents, including some marked top secret in 3 different locations. By Biden's own standard, wasn't Biden totally irresponsible with classified information? And aren't we right to wonder, to use Biden's words, quote, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods?
And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods?
Well, and I think we'll get to the bottom of all of that. I mean, that's why special counsel has been appointed by Attorney General Merrick Garland. He did the right thing there to look into it. I'm hoping that we will keep a sense of symmetry about our analysis of these situations and a sense of proportion about the underlying offenses. There's some people who are trying to compare having a government document that should no longer be in your possession to inciting a violent insurrection against the government of the United States. And those are obviously completely different things. That's apples and oranges. So we should keep a sense of proportion and measure about what we're talking about.
Oh, but it's so true, right? The sources and the methods is that those that must be the key talking points of this. And I love how he goes, well, you can't compare a bunch of classified documents that have been improperly handled. It's apples and oranges. Dude, this guy has apples and oranges for brains. I agree. I agree. What an idiot. Ugh, they find the worst, right? They're, who still watches these channels? I don't understand. It's the airports. It's the airports in our country that keep CNN alive, isn't it? And MSNBC, because that's the only place I ever see this crap playing is over there. Good morning, Kate. Yay. Or afternoon. I'm so used to doing morning shows. It's the afternoon. Patty in NYC. Good to see you. I was wondering about you not too long ago. I noticed I saw your name on one of our lists. And I was like, oh, I hadn't seen Patty in a while. Welcome. We're just talking shit. So I got some AOC crap to talk about. Did you guys see this? Her giving tips on how to breathe if you have a gas stove, right? This is a couple of days old, but let's check it out.
Now, people were a little upset by this because AOC actually uses a gas stove. But before we point fingers and call her a hypocrite, let's hear her out.
I do think it's funny, the like absolute utter Republican meltdown where they're like, you can take my gas stove or my cold dead hands, or how dare you talk about gas stoves? You have a gas stove. First of all, I rent, period.
I rent.
Okay, she rents. So leave her alone. It's not her fault her fiance doesn't make enough money to buy her a house and let her pick the stove of her choice, which would obviously be electric. But if you're stuck with a gas stove and don't want to die of asthma, AOC has some advice.
Maybe if you cook and you don't have the exhaust hood on, maybe you turn that on. Maybe if you're in a place where it's amenable and you're cooking, open a window if it's not freezing out or there's another issue, okay?
Okay. I love how she does that. And United Spot. I was going to go find a United Spot because I always bring a ton of United Spots, but they really nailed it with the okay when it comes to AOC, don't you think? I'll have to bring you some for Saturday night. And yes, Uncle Warren, Chad did an amazing job on Saturday night hanging out with Beauty and the Boomer. It was fun to have somebody else to bounce our snarkiness off of. So yeah, we had a good time. And yeah, Oz and I are plugging ahead for 2023. We got all kinds of irons in the fire, things that are going to get uprated. I'm going to get a bumper. We're going to do an intro for Trailer Park Pundit. I just need something kind of sassy and I don't know. I'm trying to what kind of intro do I want? That type of thing. If you guys got any ideas, hit me up. Let me know. And hey, Jilly's alive. Jilly, you're alive. I'm so happy to see you. I was just going to say every day I do a show and I'm crying that I haven't seen Jilly. Yay, Jilly's home. Jilly, we missed you so much. Jilly's been missing for almost 9 days, guys. Almost 9 days. That's a long damn time in Jilly time. So glad to see you're back, Jilly. I know the chats are going to be so happy to see you. The chats were so quiet and boring this week without you. They really were, Jilly. And I'm so excited. Was it your power? And girl, you got to give me your phone number. I was freaking out trying to find anybody that knew how to get a hold of you. You don't have to give me her number. Just get a hold of her, make sure she's okay. I'm very worried. And if it was because your power was out, girl, we're going to fundraise you a generator. I'm not even kidding. I am not kidding. If you sat without power for the last 7 days, we're going to figure out a way. We will. So glad to have you back, Jilly Love. Oh, did you guys see the pigs rolling in the mud? This is funny. This was from Friday, I want to say. So let's check this out. What fools? Pigs in mud. What can you say? But I love the Friar Tuck guy. That's like, you got to take this paper. You got to have this paper. Yes. Yes. Pigs in their natural habitat, right? That was somewhere in Europe. I can't remember now. It's been a couple of days. I'm sure you guys know. I missed you all so much. Julie, we missed you. I can't even tell you how much we've missed you. I mean, every day the words "where the hell is Julie" has came out of my mouth. Good to have you back. Aw, Julie is so missed. Okay. Let's see. Now let's get into, well, this is a good little chart. Let's check this out. Then we'll get into Davos. So what are they here for? Okay, so I love this chart. What are you for? What are they for? So, okay, you got the donkey and the elephant up there, right? So Republicans are against democracy, but Dems are for it. Republicans are against universal health care. So are Dems, even though they say they're for it. Republicans are against affordable prescription drugs. So are the Dems. Universal pre-K against, but so are the Dems. Women's rights. Oh yeah, we've seen this one pedal way fucking back under the Dems woke bullshit, haven't we? Do we have any of our own shit anymore? I don't think we do. Voting rights. Yeah, they're against. The Dems are for. Common sense gun reform, for, against. Come on. Vaccination mandates. Oh, the Dems are for. The Republicans are against. How is that a terrible thing? Minimum wage increase? For, against. Yeah, okay, right. Is that why every time we bring any of these affordable or universal health care, affordable prescription drugs, universal pre-K, anytime we bring any of this shit to the Democrats, they go, oh, no, now's not the time for that, right? So tax increase on the wealthy. Well, they are the wealthy. So yeah, no. Family paid leave. Yeah, they get that, right? They get all that. Tax breaks for the wealthy. Oh, Republicans are against tax breaks for the wealthy and controlling women's bodies and your body and easy access to guns and Russian invasion of Ukraine. Damn it, the Democrats are against it. So this is where you are. You are right in the middle of The Matrix in 1984 and Fahrenheit 451 and Soylent Green. Mad Max and Lord of the Rings and Hunger Games. And boy, Hunger Games is going to become a big one as we get put into our districts in the future, isn't it? Y'all know we're going into districts, right? As I went and got my passport papers filled out today, I realized that I will be stuck in a district. Most people will be stuck in a district. You will not be allowed to travel at all, like unless you get pre-approved for it. And it reminds me of what we're seeing in Davos, right? So here's all of the private jets lined up outside of Davos. So, of course, all the richest and most powerful people in the world are coming together for their eugenicist fest. I mean, basically that's what it is, right? And yeah, you are the problem, though. They are there to figure out how to stop climate change, but you are the problem. You're driving a car, you're breathing, you're eating a cheeseburger. You are causing the demise of our civilization with that shit. Not these guys and their jets. No, not at all. Not even. And I love how they sit there and they preach. So John Kerry's got to be one of my favorite, preaching about how we're destroying the planet. There's been some confusion about Klaus. Is Klaus going to be there or not? So I like this, Laura Loomer, and I know she hangs out with pasta sometimes, and I ain't judging. I'm just saying that she reported that Soros and Klaus Schwab had both pulled out of the 2023 World Economic Forum forums in Davos, which began today till the 20th of January. And yeah, due to unavoidable scheduling conflict, regrettably, I can't attend the WEF annual meeting in Davos this year, and I have in the past. I plan to deliver a speech in Munich on the eve of the Munich SEC conference? Must be a conference. Details to come. So that was from George Soros, right? Oh, Uncle Soros can't make it. But just right after we saw that, this popped up and said, for everyone who was tweeting that Klaus was sick and would miss the first day of the Davos without any evidence, here he is on the first day of Davos. Be careful what you share. So yeah, apparently Klaus isn't going to miss out on his own party. Come on. That would be like Rothschilds not showing up for their own fucking party. Like, no, Klaus is there. I don't know about Soros, but I'm sure that, it's a divide and conquer type of plan. Here, I'll go here and deal with this. You go brainwash these guys over there. We know how it goes. I brought a little update from Dabu77. I like Dabu. And there's everybody. I mean, we've got so many people there on the ground now starting to report. You guys are going to have so much video and so much breakdown over the next 4 days. So it's always a fun time of year when Davos comes around, right? Well, let's check out the crap they're spewing.
This is Dabu7. Taking a look inside the agendas that are discussed inside of Davos. We covered some of this on the live stream, touching on the key points of this new system that they're rolling out. But today we have even more information talking about how these secret meetings are being conducted within Davos. So you've got all these people that are showing up for the bigger meetings.
What?
It's catching the attention of the cameras and the eyes and ears of folks that are lurking around. But then in the inner chambers, there are secret meetings that no one knows any details about. They don't know who is involved in them. They don't know what is discussed. This all takes place behind closed doors. And it's not the bigger meeting that they have cameras set up in that they show us. And it seems this year they're trying to throw a head fake, especially after everything they talked about in their last meeting. It seems that the world has awakened to the Great Reset and what these goons are doing. They don't seem to care for that too much. So they're changing up their verbiage. They're not using Build Back Better, the Great Reset. They're using simple phrases like a new system. But they're still on the same track in regards of talking about how to fix this world and how to do this all during this fourth industrial revolution, which means digitizing everything, and as they see it, reducing the population of the planet.
Yeah, so we know they want to reduce the population of the planet, right? Is that the actual agenda? And yeah, they're trying to dupe you. They know that so many of us in indie media are out there breaking down everything they're saying, and so yeah, they're changing their verbiage. We have seen a lot of language changed over the last 5 years, right? If they can't change the way they spin it, then they'll just change the definition of it. And we've seen that multiple times. DC, you're too funny. DC says Soros is 394 years old. He couldn't get Uber Premium to pick him up in his coffin bed. Yes, Soros, how many hearts has that guy been through? They just, give me another heart, right? They live forever, it seems like. What was it? Rockefeller that lived, David Rockefeller, he had like 9 hearts by the time that he finally did die. Yeah, it's insane. Hey, welcome to all of our viewers over on the Rumble. I'm so excited that we actually have Rumble viewers over there. Do us a favor, hit that like button, hit the follow button, help us out, help us build the Rumble. We love that our Rumble is starting to build. So thank you guys so much for watching on the Rumbles. And you guys know I love my Rockfinners. You guys are the best. I'm so glad to see Jilly back in the chat. Okay, so more on Davos. This was Yahoo's official breakdown of what Davos is. So pretend that you're a layperson and you don't know anything about it, and this is what you'd believe.
Nestled in the Swiss Alps at an altitude of 5,100 feet, Davos is the highest town in Europe. The World Economic Forum says it picked the Alpine hideaway, about 100 miles south of Zurich, because it was the ideal retreat to get away from all the trappings of daily reality. Another benefit, in 1971, when the meeting was started by German economics professor Klaus Schwab, the town of Davos had recently built a big conference center. It didn't hurt that CEOs and political leaders could also hobnob on the ski slopes. The World Economic Forum styles itself as an independent, nonprofit organization, but it's also big business. Davos is all about access, and in true capitalist form, the more you pay, the more access you get, with your status determined by the color of your badge. Journalists and activists get in for free, but for everyone else who wants to be part of the elite Davos club, fees range from the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Companies like Salesforce and Meta spend hundreds of thousands more to set up buildings on the promenade, where leaders schmooze potential clients and the media, sometimes at lavish late-night parties. That schmooze is key, how paying participants get a return on their six-figure investments. Musician will.i.am, primatologist Jane Goodall, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, Alphabet CFO Ruth Porat, ECB President Christine Lagarde. In theory, we could strike up a conversation in the line for coffee with any of these folks this year.
In theory.
Networking aside, WEF says the point of Davos is to embrace the principle of stakeholder capitalism. The idea that businesses should serve all stakeholders, that is, employees, customers, and the public as a whole, and not just shareholders. Davos comes under regular criticism, in part for the gulf between how its participants see themselves and that mission, and how the rest of the world, the other 99.99%, sees it and them. WEF touts the real change it says it is catalyzed, from increased global coordination on attacking air pollution to the pivotal 1992 speech by South African President F.W. de Klerk together with Nelson Mandela. It's unclear whether its more recent dramatic moments, like Greta Thunberg urging participants in 2020 to act urgently on climate change, yielded equally dramatic results. You can't escape the optics of billionaires flying in on their gas-guzzling private jets. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon reportedly called Davos a place where, quote, billionaires tell millionaires what the middle class feels.
So billionaires tell millionaires what the middle class feels. And I love this. It's where they can go to escape the everyday trappings. Yeah, trappings was the right verbiage for that, right? We're all trapped in this system. And I love how she says that there could be late night smoozing, right? We haven't seen that at all, have we? We'll get to that next. But I've got one more cut. I want to look at just some of the topics that are going to be covered these 4 fine days. And Russell Brand's done a really great job. He's got, reporters on the ground there. They're doing check-ins, and he's done, so far I've seen really comprehensive breakdowns from Russell Brand.
Could be attended. It reminds me a little bit as a comedian of the Edinburgh Festival. Can we see on screen some of those classes that are taking place? I know that Tony Blair is running a sesh over there. Look at that. There's Brian Stelter's doing the clear and present danger of this information with Brian Stelter. That's going to be a good one. Al Gore still going on about how difficult everything is. And look, Tony Blair, 100 days to outrace the next pandemic with Tony Blair. My God, he's got a head start. I hope that pandemic
it's all right, though, because it's him and Albert Bourla.
See, and you dared to mock that woman that asked the question about the next pandemic. They've got a session called the next pandemic.
That's outrageous, isn't it? Extraordinary. Which sessions are you keen to attend, Andrew?
Well, the one actually tonight that I'm interested in is about how we can all live a climate positive lifestyle, because last time they all met in May, there was this executive with Alibaba bragging about how he was inventing this individual carbon footprint tracker that monitored what you ate and where you travel and how you travel and what you do. So I'm wondering if that might feed into the climate positive lifestyle that they're going to be prescribing this evening.
Yes, it seems like the management of behavior, the ability to observe transaction, and the sort of B.F. Skinner style capacity to nudge, or even, let's face it, control the way that we live our lives, where we spend our money, how we spend our money, seems to be centrifugal to the tenets of the WEF there. And when you bring that into conjunction with the advances around AI, and therefore, and that means another area where working people won't have any power or ability, i.e. to bond together in low-paid work in order to form unions and to oppose the agenda of the powerful. Seems like they're, in a sense, creating the perfect conditions for globalism, shutting down dissent, controlling information through these new terms that are becoming popularized, mis, mal, and disinformation. Are you having a look at any of the AI stuff while you're there, Andrew?
Yeah, AI is actually one of the big themes they're moving in towards this year. And I mean, obviously it's here. There's no avoiding it. It's a part of life now and will become more of one. But what's interesting is that on one hand, they're celebrating it and really making AI this central focus. But on the other hand, one of the sessions on the agenda is about how to deal with technology displacing 1 billion people, billion with a B, from their jobs because of technology. And this is not just replacing some pair of hands on an assembly line with a machine. We're talking about now with AI, replacing human minds. We're talking about replacing thinking individuals. And I think it's going to be a heck of a lot more than 1 billion people that are AI'd out of work. But the challenge is, it's not the people here at Davos that are ever going to find themselves out of work because of these innovations and because of these technological developments. No one here suffered during the pandemic. No one here is going to suffer from the need for reskilling or retraining because some computer has made their job redundant.
So yeah, let's choose these guys to control and tell us what we're gonna do. Yeah, none of them suffered during the pandemic, right? They're not gonna suffer going forward. They're not gonna be the ones being outsourced and losing their jobs. They're at all. Yeah, it's disgusting, isn't it? But talking about disgusting, you know what's going on there? And you guys had to have seen this. Did you see this? Everybody saw this, I thought. So prostitutes are gathering in Davos for the annual meeting of the global elite, where demands for sexual services rockets during the economic summit. So prostitutes report a surge in business during the annual gathering of leaders. Escorts are booked into delegates' hotels alongside business executives. Sex workers dressed in business attire are rubbing shoulders with the global elites. And yeah, that's a story that was covered in a couple of different places. I saw it on UK Daily Mail and I saw it a couple other places. And they're saying some of these workers are coming out of their 10,000 a head a night. So when they say that there is meetings going on that aren't very public, this is the type of shit that we know goes on, right? We've seen it. Yeah, these guys, they can't get enough, right? When you have it all, you can have anything you want, then you want what you can't have, and taboo is what they go after. And so yeah, I am sure the sex workers are making good money in Davos this weekend. Looks like I got a couple more. This one's kind of pukey. Let's check this one out. So is that speaking that's Paul Ryan, right? Is that who that is? What the hell's he doing hanging out there? Maybe he's hanging out with some of the nightlife. And this isn't a climate crisis. There is a transfer of wealth from we the people to the globalists. The WEF wants to be the masters of the earth and the ruling class. To do this, they must send us back to the dark ages. Yeah, right. It's not a meeting of the ruling class, it's a meeting of the ruling class, but it's about them controlling the rest of us. We say it every year. We've been saying it for years, and they'll just keep going, right? So we'll pay attention to what they're doing this weekend and give you guys some updates about it as we start getting these little video clips, right? Every time one of them goes out there and gives a speech for one of these stupid classes, we can go tear it apart. So you'll be seeing that for the next week. So Davos fun. Did you guys see the plane crash in Nepal? That was pretty insane. I didn't bring the footage just because I think it's horrendous and it's heartbreaking to know that all those people on that video are gone now. So, but here's just a small wrap up of a pretty terrible plane crash.
The search for answers after a devastating plane crash in Nepal. Crews have now found the black boxes and are recovering bodies from the deep gorge where the plane went down. At least 69 are confirmed dead, 3 more missing, are also feared dead. The plane going down just moments before landing. ABC's Britt Clennett in Nepal's capital, Kathmandu.
Tonight, in this 1,000-foot deep gorge in the shadow of the Himalayas, some 300 searchers continue to look for victims and clues amid the wreckage of Nepal's worst air disaster in 30 years. Officials displaying the cockpit voice and data recorders they recovered today, said to be in good condition. The twin-engine turboprop aircraft operated by Nepal's Yeti Airlines took off from the capital of Kathmandu for a short half-hour flight to Pokhara, known as a haven for tourists. 1 minute from landing, watch closely as the plane banks sharply to the left before exploding. An airport spokesman saying the pilot requested to change runways before the crash, and it was granted. And while weather is known to change rapidly here, as you can see, the skies were clear and blue at the time of the crash. Since 2000, some 350 people have died in plane or helicopter crashes in Nepal. The European Union has banned Nepali planes from its airspace since 2013, citing safety concerns.
It's happening again. It's this deja vu here in Nepal.
The system must be improved so that such type of accident not happen in the future, so that we have a very robust system in place.
We're here in Nepal. They've declared today a national day of mourning for the victims, and that airport where this happened, it only opened 2 weeks ago, and the investigation into what went wrong could take months.
So if you guys haven't seen that footage, it's all over Twitter. It's pretty heartbreaking. And yeah, this isn't the first air disaster to strike Nepal. If you're heading into to climb the mountain, be careful. They obviously don't have a very good safety record with the planes in Nepal. But I just watched that documentary. It was about the earthquake and how it took out base camp. That is a very interesting documentary. I want to say it's either on YouTube or Prime that I came across it. Maybe I found it on YouTube. But just following those people around that were on the ground during that disaster. Yeah, it's pretty, so isolated there. The terrain is so crazy. So I'm always interested when I see stuff happening in Nepal. But really what caught me was that video footage. I won't bring it, but it was terrible. This story is going to blow your mind. So for all of my friends in California who take little trips, take a little siesta down to Tijuana, you might want to be careful because our border patrol agents have a fucking racket going at the border where if you get in the wrong lane, they're going to fine you $5,000. And if you don't have the $5,000 right then and there, you don't get your car back. Dude, check this shit out, guys.
Get out the car, open up your legs, put your hands behind your back.
They shackled me to this metal bench as I waited for 3 hours.
I have never been humiliated in my life the way I was humiliated that afternoon.
Southern California residents say a trip to Tijuana turned into a nightmare on their way back home.
I was scared. I cried. I was trying for the officers not to see me cry.
Patricia Caro and Bernardo Montenegro of Fontana, Rose of Burbank, and Anna Salazar of Pasadena say they were treated like criminals and forced to pay thousands of dollars so their vehicles wouldn't be impounded at the Tijuana San Isidro port of entry.
They were telling him that they wouldn't release our vehicle without us paying $5,000.
It wasn't a shakedown by Mexican authorities. It was U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents detaining drivers for hours and then citing them with hefty fines. Why?
We just got into the wrong lane. That's that. We didn't do anything else wrong but get into a wrong lane.
It was not intentional.
The lane they're referring to is called Sentry Lane. Only pre-approved travelers can use this lane to cross the border faster.
Once you're in the lane, you can't get out.
You can't get out because of those concrete barriers. Drivers who've been trapped in this lane blame the roundabouts and the signs in Tijuana that are a bit confusing. Plus, navigation apps are sending drivers directly to the Sentry Lane.
We put in the address to go back home. It basically told us to go through a certain way, which is the fastest way. Sentry is the fastest way to get out of the border.
Everyone we interviewed say they flagged a CBP agent before they got to the actual checkpoint to alert them they had accidentally gotten in the wrong lane.
I never lied. I never even crossed in without letting them know I don't have a pass and I'm aware of it. So what can I do? I don't want to get in trouble.
This is happening primarily to U.S. citizens, not to immigrants or anything like that.
Attorney John Manley has represented drivers who've been detained, fined, and cuffed. And remember, in most cases, these are U.S. citizens and U.S. officials.
That is crazy. So have you ever had this happen to you guys where you're in a strange town or city and you've got to go through some kind of checkpoint? We have checkpoints all around the country, especially when you get down towards the border, Arizona, Texas, they just pop up. You just drive and all of a sudden, boom, there's a checkpoint. Not a big deal. But if you go, like I got caught in one in New Orleans, and this was many years ago. I don't know, probably 20 years ago. But they have these good to go lanes, right? Where you have this pass, and that's what they're saying. This is a quick go pass, apparently, that you can pay for and get, and you get in the center lane, you get through the border crossing much faster. Well, if you get in the wrong lane, you can't get out. There's those stupid barriers there. And it happens. It happens. It has happened to me. I mean, we got in the wrong checkpoint or check lane in New Orleans, and it was an $80 fine because we held up traffic, I guess. I don't remember exactly what the ticket was cited for, but they're citing these guys for $5,000. That's insane. And here's the thing, this lady, because this is like a 10-minute report, this lady goes on to say how she was handcuffed to a chair and sitting there for hours, and a guy next to her had got picked up for trying to smuggle meth across the border. And eventually they gave him a $500 fine, and kicked him out the door. They told her she had to pay a $5,000 fine. She's like, are you serious? I told you guys I was in the wrong lane. I knew I was in the wrong lane. I'm sorry about that, but I have to pay $5,000 when this drug dealer or this guy with drugs is only paying $500. That's insane. So yeah, driving in New Orleans is a nightmare. They don't use their brakes. They use their horn instead. Yeah, driving in Louisiana is like that. So if you are headed down to Tijuana, make sure that on your way back, don't get into the center lane or it's going to cost you $5,000. Just our border patrol doing their best, right? They're not out of control at all. I think Oz dropped this one on me. Let's see what this is. What is this? So Kim Iverson, gas heating bills of an 88-year-old neighbor or of my neighbor. Let's see, $927.86 is her projected next bill. That's insane. Insane for one person. So I also grabbed this tweet where Kim says, our food prices have tripled, our utilities have tripled, yet they tell us everything's okay while they continue to sanction Russia, demonize China, and insult Saudi Arabia. I don't care about that one. Dems or GOP both do it. They just focus on different countries. That is so true, Kim. And yeah, you guys, I talk about it all the time. Every time I go to the goddamn grocery store. Lately, they're out of everything. We're going to start seeing worse supply breakdowns than what we saw at the beginning of COVID. That's no lie. We're already seeing it. I'll go to the store and want green onions, mushrooms, maybe some tempura, and none of it'll be there, right? All these little things that we just take for granted are always going to be in the store. They're not there anymore. And I'm having to figure out how to substitute for a lot of this shit because it's just gone. And it's getting worse. It seems like it's getting worse. I just listened to a breakdown yesterday of how Kroger's shopping centers, they are so out of shit. Like their warehouses don't have anything, and it's really hurting. It's hurting their sales. All of it's going to hurt sales, right? Well, everybody's hurting. We saw Amazon laying off mass workers, Walmart reporting mass losses. I mean, it's not going to get better. We know that. That's why I'm dumpster fire 2023 this year. What is this, Oz? So let's see. Stephen Shanahan, how you doing? Let's see. The DNC/GOP want us to be in a tizzy over items on their agenda. Exactly backwards. They should be in a tizzy over the items on our agenda. Yes, I couldn't agree more, right? Oh, did you guys see this? This is just weird. I had to bring it because I was like, what the hell is this real? So this is, I want to say, the bass player for Slayer. And this is a statue in the Ukraine to him. Like, what? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Just found it a little odd. It's a better statue than any statue I see around our place. So, yeah. Oh, okay. So who is this woman? How do I Kyra Ruddick. I'm going to say Ruddick. So she's the Ukrainian MP, right? So before and after getting her hands on U.S. taxpayer money, I wonder what she spent her first paychecks on. Now, if any man brought this, they would be shamed out. Like, oh my God, you cannot comment like that. Yeah, well, I'm a woman and I can. And she obviously went and got breast implants with her money, right? She should have bought Tyco with the money. She got Lipo with the money. Look at that. What an insane difference. So, yeah, that was just pointed out. And I wanted to point it out to you guys too. That's a big difference. What a difference, right? Laugh my ass off. You like that, Oz? Whatever. That your taxpayer dollars are so needed. They're doing a great job, right? Spilling out the pikes, you get your yeah, exactly. I'm just shocked with the Rumble today. You guys are cracking me up. I can't believe I actually have Rumble viewers today. Oh, okay, so what is this, Oz? Let's check this out. I haven't clicked on this. I don't know what this is. So all propaganda, pro censorship, breaking points. Oh, you brought me a breaking points. Thanks. Exposed again. Breaking points exposed for being shills. No fucking way. Let's check it out.
To also be clear, immediately afterwards, the CDC put out a statement. Let's go to the next one up here, please, where they say that it is, quote, very unlikely that the booster carries a stroke risk after launching a review. However, that came just 24 hours after all of this. Why does any of this matter? This is a perfect example of why lack of censorship around discussion around these topics is very important, specifically with regards to the bivalent booster vaccine.
They're just shills. We know they're shills. I've been calling them shills for 3 years now. I need my breaking points puke bag, right? I've been using my air sickness bag I got a couple of years ago as my breaking points puke bag because they make me want to puke. They sell out. They'll toe the line every damn time. We know, and I have to be careful because I'm on YouTube, but we know damn better about everything that they're saying. And you see all of these heads of the big pharma agencies out there this week talking about how they've saved so many lives. They've saved so many lives. And if you even ask them anything about people passing suddenly, oh, nope, they can't answer that question. They got to keep moving. How dare you put a narrative like that out there? But the truth is coming out. More and more and more and more people are either turning up sick, injured, there's lots of reasons people are starting to look into this and to educate themselves. And I'm so glad. Hey, Chris Foster, glad to see you. Yeah, I'm so glad that so many people are waking up to what they're doing. But, will we have enough people wake up in time for the rollout of the next one? Because we all know that old Billy Boy, he can't wait for the next one to get here. So that one was a trial run, right? We know that.
To also be clear.
Oh, go away, Sagar. Let's see. I got a couple of funny memes. Person of the year. Remember this from 205? The Good Samaritans. Yeah. Bill Gates, Bono, Melinda Gates. Yeah. Yep. And that is so true with Klaus, right? Which cup? Which hand? Which hand? They shuffle them on you. Oh, I love this one. This is a great one, isn't it? Do you see this? So what you thought you were voting for with the DSA, what you got instead. Oh, hell yeah. If you don't know who that is Shama Sawant and of course AOC. And there's been plenty of times that I haven't agreed with Shama on some things, but for the most part, I know that she is truly for the working class of this country. She wants, she fights. And when I say she fights, not only does she push back against the Democrats, but she pushbacks against DSA, against their own fucking bullshit. So that's a great meme. I'm going to keep that one because I always like the road to what is it? The progressive road in the Democrat leads to a graveyard. Is that what Shama always says? Because she's right. We have to stop voting for Democrats. And I'm like, okay, so I was election integrity and I spent a lot of time on universal health care, and I'm not even going to go there. I don't even think we should be talking about universal health care till there's an appropriate fucking bill that we can say yay or nay either way. Just this cognitive, this is universal health care. We have to have it without even knowing what it looks like or talking about how we could implement it. It's just, we need it now. Right. And I used to be that way. I used to say, yes. And I still believe that we need healthcare. Every person in this country needs healthcare. But during this authoritarian rollout that we saw over the last 2 years, what does that look like? That's all I'm asking the activists out there. So I kind of feel like my main activism this year is just going to be to steer people away from the Democratic Party. I mean, if that's the only thing I put on this earth for, don't go into the Democratic Party. Don't vote for the Dems. I'm not telling you to vote for Republicans either. I'm telling you, don't vote for the fucking machine anymore. And does that look like Green Party or Independent? I don't know what it looks like in your area. It just means you don't give a vote to any of the establishment, left or right. Did I bring this one? So UN peacekeeper in Haiti said to have fathered hundreds of children, women and girls were left behind to face poverty, social stigma, and single motherhood in the Western Hemisphere's poorest country. I got this from Miss Amber King, Brave New Future. I like how they use the word fathered, right? Fathered hundreds of children. Yeah. So I'm so glad our UN peacekeepers are over there keeping the peace. It's disgusting. And we know what you did in Haiti. We know. I mean, I will forever call the Clintons out, the Clinton Foundation. We know what you did in Haiti, along with the UN peacekeepers, right? Just a little Amber Heard update. Did you guys see? She dropped her appeal. It is official. Her appeal has been thrown out, so she has to pay Johnny Depp's claims to have been silenced, that she hasn't shut the fuck up in 6 years. Amber is an abuser and a liar. Amber Turd, yes, she is. So, and apparently she lost NBC, because if you followed that case at all with me, because Karen and I, we were doing CC Gals, and if you followed that case at all, she had the mainstream media. She had Obama's press secretary, former press secretary, and a power press team of Obama's. And they've been out there doing damage control for, 2 years on Amber. She thought she was just going to lie. She was going to make a Me Too accusation. And we were all going to say, oh, and believe her. But the thing is she's not a very good liar. And we actually know she was lying. And that was proven in court that she defamed Johnny Depp. And yeah. She needs to go away. But what's funny is Johnny Depp's crack little attorney, was it Camille Vasquez? She got hired by NBC. So she is now a commentator, and they bring her on in the morning. They ask her about big cases, and I love it. That just means that Amber doesn't have NBC anymore because Camille has it. And Camille's such a smart woman, man. They try to catch her up all the time. Like, if you say this about this case, then we're going to flip it and use it on you about the Amber Heard case. So I couldn't do it, man. That girl, she's thinking 20 moves ahead. So good for her. There's a lot of celebrity shit going on. So, okay, guys, I got to tell you something I've been a little obsessed with this week. We're almost done with this show, but I want to talk about Charles Bukowski. If you know who Bukowski is, was he a nihilist? I mean, that's kind of how I look at him, as he was a nihilist. But so basically he was a poet. He wrote poetry. He was an author, and they say he's America's most prolific American poet, right? And basically he just wrote about how bad fucking life sucks. And I always find Barfly, yes, Barfly. I always find myself, I love Bukowski too. I always find myself, am I a nihilist? So I just want to bring you guys just a little clip, and then I've got a short little poem from him. I've been immersed in his books, and they can be really bad. Let me tell you, I've read Women the last 2-3 days. Oh my God. I couldn't even believe some of the shit that was in there. I liken him to, he's kind of akin to Hunter S. Thompson, in that he was a drinker. He was a womanizer. He really understood the mundane worthlessness of being a human being and in a capitalistic system, right? Because he understood that this is bullshit. Who wants to get up and get dressed and take a shower and go do a 9 to 5 and fight traffic and then come home, and for what, right? And he really put his observations down in very, very great, clear, statements. And so I'm going to be adding him a lot to the show. So let's just check this little clip out.
Are not good to each other. I suppose they never will be. It's funny how
Ernest Hemingway, was once asked to describe the best preparation for being a writer, and he responded, an unhappy childhood. If the best training is an unhappy childhood, then Bukowski's was first-rate. His upbringing was scarred with physical and psychological abuse, but it created a man who channeled his pain into his writing. Sometimes it's not about processing your trauma, because thinking doesn't solve problems. Instead, it's about getting it out of your brain and into something. You have to take the frustrations, the loneliness, the trauma, the human void, and put it somewhere. And by doing that, it makes it feel like the trauma had a reason. And virtually anything provides an opportunity for growth. You wouldn't wish for it, you wouldn't want it to happen again, but there was something about it that made it worthwhile. And this is the story of Charles Bukowski. He bummed, he struggled, and he wrote, even when nobody was reading. He didn't get famous until he was in his 50s, but the many years he spent in the streets provided him endless material for his poetry, and that's the advantage of mature art. We live in a society ultra obsessed with youth, so these are typically the artists we see highlighted by the media, 20-something-year-olds that have overnight success. But to me, there's something much more special about an artist breaking through and finding success much later in life. Persistence is underrated. Again, Bukowski's first novel wasn't published until he was 50. Throughout his life, his work got rejected time and time again, but nothing stopped his commitment to writing. He just kept going, somehow, because he had to. Bukowski wrote, "During my worst times on the park benches, in the jails, or living with whores, I always had this certain contentment. I wouldn't call it happiness. It was more of an inner balance that settled for whatever was occurring, and it helped in the factories, and when relationships went wrong with the girls. It helped through the wars and the hangovers, the back alley fights, the hospitals. To awaken in a cheap room in a strange city and pull up the shade, this was the craziest kind of contentment. And to walk across the floor to an old dresser with a cracked mirror, see myself ugly, grinning at it all. What matters most is how well you walk through the fire."
I love that. And I love that because he was rejected well into his 50s, right? But the fact that he's passed on, and yeah, he lived in California, Kate, that he's recognized for his work. And I'm seeing it more and more. I'm seeing quotes of his popping up on Twitter. I'm seeing quotes of his popping up on all these different social media sites. So the message from this that I take is even though you're mature, right? That's what they say, mature art, that don't give up, guys. I mean, I see so many of you out there and you're doing your own things, you're creating, you're getting your thoughts out there, and that's what's important, right? His thoughts are living on by what he did. So please, if you're out there and you're feeling discouraged because you're older and why the fuck am I even doing this? I kind of related to that, like, God, I'm almost 50 years old and here I am trying to start a new career on YouTube. What am I doing? But that gives me inspiration. And yes, he was vulgar. I mean, I grew up around vulgar, right? It's the trailer park. He reminds me of uncles and grandpas and people that I knew, right? What did he say? He has a deep, abiding affection for hookers. Oh, was that what he said? No, I have a deep, biting affection for whores. That's what he said. And I get that. I get that. And that this is the true base of America, if you ask me. And I just love it. So if you have never checked out Charles Bukowski, please go Google it or, YouTube it. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. I found a few things. I didn't really dig too deep, though. I read his first 3 books while I was rubber tamping up in West Coast. Definitely gave me a peace of mind. He was hilarious despite his cynicism. Right. He is hilarious. He calls it out for, how cynical it actually is, but he's funny about it as he does it. And yeah, somewhat a nihilist. That I would call him a nihilist too. Do you see? I definitely would call him a little bit of a nihilist, but I think we're all nihilists, right? If you're hanging out here, what do we always talk about, right? We all have a little bit of nihilism bubbling up into us. I'm going to play that one at the end of the show today. So we'll close with the song, and then I'll close with a Bukowski poem for us. But I just wanted to tell you guys we got a big show on Thursday. Of course, To Hell and Back is back. Pasta and I figured it out. We're working it out, and we've got Jamie Deluxe coming in. I'm super excited to have this conversation with Jamie. He seems stoked to be coming in to talk to us about it. Of course, Jamie has his own channel on Rokfin and, YouTube when they haven't kicked him off. Jamie Deluxe, sometimes it's DLUX, sometimes it's DLUXE, just trying to avoid the algorithm, I'm sure. But he does amazing research. Just because, you're at home sitting on your computer doesn't mean you're not a researcher. So he's getting out there. He finds the information. I mean, I've seen him order specialty books just to get us, information about, the vaccines or Fauci or, yes, Pasta is back. Pasta is back, and To Hell and Back is going to stay on point. We're still, it's about addiction and recovery, right? So I can't wait to hear Jamie's story. He's in, I want to say, South Carolina. He's in one of the Carolinas. So we know they were hit pretty hard opiate wise, and I'm can't wait to hear his story and what inspired him to get out there to do this and to inspire people like me. He knowing that he could sit there and say, what is this thing? Say, I smoke and I say fuck a lot. To know that he could do that meant that I could do that too. And I quit smoking, but I still say fuck a lot. So I just like that. Authentic, right? I love authentic. Julian Assange, guys, as you guys know, I'm trying to get back to DC April 11th to meet up with the posse, Comrade Misty Putin and everybody else outside the Department of Justice. Please go to the links below. My link tree is down there with my GoFundMe, or it's over on my Twitter page. And let's write Julian, guys. He can't get enough letters from us. I mean, if we wrote a letter every day, I don't think it would be enough, right? But I know it's got to warm his heart a little bit to see those come in. And Jilly, I'm so glad to see you back. We've so missed you. I know the chats missed you. I know all the creators missed you. You have been the talk of the town all week. Where is Jilly? And so we want to make sure this doesn't happen again. I will be reaching out to you in person so I can get some digits from you so we can make sure that we can stay in contact. And if you need anything, Jilly, please reach out to us. You know what? I will always use my platform to help you guys out. If you need something, be it a fundraiser, if you need anything, I will get out there and do the work for you. So please. You can't imagine how much I've missed you. I can. I was like, how is Jilly living without all this information? Jilly, all day, Jilly is sending me stuff, guys. Like all day. My Twitter DMs just blowing up. Did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? And some of it I've seen, but a lot of it I haven't. And I was kind of in the dark all week. Like, I don't have Jilly bringing me my insights. So the show was definitely lacking missing Jilly. Okay, do we got anything else for today? Let me check our, sorry, Rokfin. I lost the Rokfin. There's a Rokfin. How you guys doing? Freethinker 69, or is it 59? I don't have my glasses on. 69's funny though. If it isn't. Fred Edwards. My nihilism expired, Fred. Does it expire? I hope my nihilism never expires. Hey, Amber, thanks for that story about the UN peacekeepers. Oh my God, how disgusting. They should be in prison. They should be locked in prison. Name, nice. I love your handle. Name's a good handle. Denver Attaway, thanks for joining me. I know we got a bunch of people hanging out over here. Of course, I don't have my glasses on, so thank you to everybody hanging out on the Rokfins. Do you guys know that we are close to 14,000 followers over on the Rokfin? If you haven't followed, go to Roar Media on Rokfin and make sure you hit that thumbs up. Everybody hit that thumbs up and the like buttons and the share. Let me shout out my Rumble. Hey, we still have some people hanging out on the Rumble. You guys are the best. Make sure you hit the like over there so that way we can get monetized or whatever it is. 69. I know, right? That's funny, Vic. Isn't that funny? And of course, let me hit the U too. So we've got Vass Adams and Jilly. I'm so glad to see you back. DC, Go Start, Popeye the Sailor. I know there's more over here. Patty in NYC was hanging out today. So glad to see you. Kate, I'm always glad to see Kate. So glad that you made it, Kate. And thank you guys all for the super chats today. I had a couple of them come in. trying to go back and see if I can get them, but you know, they drop off. Oh, Choosy's here. Hey, Choosy, what's up? Barbara Bartleson. Hi, Barbara. President Jesus, so glad to see you. And Chris Foster, of course. We love it when our friends from over across the pond come in and visit. And yeah, we just love hanging out with you guys. Thank you guys for joining me for a late show today. As you know, I was busy getting my passport so I could bust out of this shithole. One of these days, maybe I'll get out of here. Till then, I will be here. And yeah, you can join Apasa and I on Thursday, 10:15 Pacific Standard Time for a special guest, Jamie Deluxe. And definitely hit up Oz and I for Beauty and the Boomer on Saturday night. I know the Boomer's been busting out a bunch of quick new moves that he's got. So check that out. And I think we're going to close today with some beautiful people, a Deep Six Manson tribute band. So the beautiful people, they're all in Davos, right? Okay, well, I will see you guys on Thursday. Have a great day.